revision of cut-off marks of the Grade 5 scholarship examinations limited to 8 schools in Colombo.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that a broad program will be formulated to make Sri Lanka the trade and economic hub of Asia.
Mega Police Development Plan unveiled by the subject minister.
The government decides not to permit kidney transplants on foreigners in private hospitals in the country.
The former Secretary of Defence says that he will enter politics if the people make a request.
Good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News. I'm Joel Outschool.
I'm Sonali Manikabadike. We start off first with a look at our top story. The Ministry of Education has revised the Grade 5 scholarship examination cut-off marks for 8 schools in Colombo.
Our Action TV has more details on this story.
When enrolling students who top the Grade 5 scholarship examination into popular schools, the Ministry of Education uses a certain scientific method to decide the cut-off marks for those respective schools. One of the two fundamental factors taken into consideration under this scientific method are the number of students applying to the certain school, and the other is the number of vacancies in the respective school. The cut-off mark, which is the outcome of this scientific method, is a national mark and does not come under a district or provincial method. In simple terms, the cut-off mark of a certain boys' school will be reduced in accordance to all the schools that enroll students for the Grade 5 examination. This was further clarified at a media briefing held at the Ministry of Education on the 12th.
මේ පූර්ණ පරීක්ෂණයකින් පස්සේ තමයි අපි දැනගන්න පුළුවන් මේ සමහරවිට දවස් ටිකක් එයාට මාතත් බැලුවනේ අදත් පාසල් දෙකක බැලුවා එහෙම අපි සම්පූර්ණයෙන් අපි මේ කර්ම කාරණා සොයාගත්තට පස්සේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති මේ තීරණයකට ගන්නට සිදු වෙයි රාජකීය විද්‍යාවට වැඩුණ ළමයි 40ට සාපේක්ෂව අනිත් ඔක්කොටම මේක ලකුණු මේ කඩේම ලකුණු තීරණය කිරීමේදී පදනම් වූ නිර්ණායක මත අනිත් ඒවා ඔක්කොම යවනවා ඒක තමයි එහෙම යවන එක ඇත්තද මම කියන්නේ අසාධාරණ කරනවා කියලා. දැන් ඔබතුමා අදහස් කරන්නේ මේක මාධ්‍යයට දෙන්න මේ කඩේ ලකුණ කියලා. ඒ කඩේ ලකුණ දෙන්න බෑනේ. දෙන්න පුළුවන්.
Today, that is 9 days after the Ministry of Education gave such an assurance, the revised cut-off marks for 7 boys' schools under the Colombo city limits and of Dharmapala College, Pannipitia, which is a mixed school, were made public. The revised cut-off marks see 1 mark reduced from the previously decided cut-off mark for the said schools. The reasons for revising the cut-off marks was the decision reached by the Ministry of Education to add another class for grade 6 at Royal College, Colombo. The decision taken by the ministry to only enroll 40 students who had passed the Grade 5 scholarship examination with the additional Grade 6 classroom at Royal College creates 40 new vacant positions for those who passed the scholarship examination. However, the reduction of the cut-off mark in line with the revised cut-off mark for Royal College should not only affect the cut-off marks of the 7 boys' schools in the Colombo city limits as well as to Dharmapala College, Pannipitia. After creating an additional 40 opportunities to study at Royal College, Colombo and preventing that benefit from flowing towards the others from Pannipitia deprives 40 students of an opportunity. The cut-off marks published by the Ministry of Education today is one that is complicated where one cannot even clearly determine who the 40 students are. It was alleged that Royal College Colombo had secretly conducted an additional class for grade 7 last year. The strive of the Ministry of Education to properly include that classroom for grade 6 and give a new opportunity for 40 students to study at Royal College Colombo should be admired. However, in order to ensure that the attempt is not a failure, shouldn't the cut-off marks of all popular schools in the country be revised? Secretary to the Ministry of Education, this is over to you.
Have we forgotten?
Opposition raises allegations that Sri Lankans are illegally and secretly depositing money in offshore accounts, especially in Seychelles and Switzerland. The political stage was infused with allegations that a large sum of money was being moved to other offshore accounts.
Everyone can understand how the Seychelles and Switzerland fit in this story. Persons have obtained money and moved them to offshore Swiss accounts through the Seychelles. Seychelles is where large-scale black to white money conversions take place. We have received word that the billions in US dollars have been moved from there to Dubai and then deposited in Ukraine. $1 billion is 130 billion Sri Lankan rupees. Who does this money belong to? We have received petitions that claim that there is evidence to prove that some Sri Lankan politicians had bank accounts in Bangkok. I handed them over to the Ministry of Finance. This is sent by the Sri Lankans working in the bank over there. They take photographs of the screens and send it here. The money has been moved to Ukraine. We are looking for the money trail. Allegations were made directly at the Seychelles that the illegally earned money of the Rajapaksas were deposited there. That needs to be clearly explained. This is a serious form of criticism against the government's activities. They criticize the previous government and use the voices against that to gain power. However, society has not determined and understood that these persons have no interest in investigating those claims of gathering facts on a credible manner. If the people raised allegations about the previous rulers, we have the moral responsibility to ensure that those allegations are not mere baseless allegations. The government of good governance can only protect its credibility if it protects the trust that the people have placed on it. The more that trust fades away, the more good governance will lead to destruction.
Have we forgotten?
Minister Partile Champikaranavik announced today that the project to convert the Western Province into a megapolis will be unveiled on the 29th of this month. Now, speaking to reporters in Colombo today, the minister added that the project will take place under 3 phases. The minister said that the project is aimed at building an individual equipped with economic success, social equality, environmental conservation and happiness. There are 4 core aims of this project. This project will be driven under 10 large-scale themes, with 160 sub-projects for 15 years. The primary project would be to transport gas from Mannar to Colombo. The next would be to create an electricity supply grid for Colombo and its suburbs that would run underground. There is also a project to provide a water supply to every household. Another project would be aimed at creating a streamlined transport system. Colombo will see the construction of a port city. Katunayaka will see the construction of an aviation city. In the next 15 years, 68,000 poor families will be given houses. We hope to create administrative cities in Jayala, Kadawatha, Kaduvela, Kottawa and Bandaragama. Questions were also raised on the funding for these projects. An estimate shows that for the next 15 years, Sri Lanka will require around $40 billion. Today, we receive investments of $15 billion per year. We must not forget that 6 billion rupees was invested in Hambantota for no use. We will do the essential work in the public sector. There are projects from the private sector as well. There is foreign aid that will arrive.
TV1, the latest addition to the channels of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, officially launched today.
TV1, theme to radiate life, was officially launched today at the Stein Studios in Rathmalana following religious observances which were given priority. TV1 commenced to air its programs at the auspicious time of 5/4 this evening. Group directors, senior executive officers and many others from the Capital Maharaja Organisation were present for this historic moment.
TV1 රැස්වීදෙන ජීවිතේ
TV1 is launched to revolutionize the television era and bring its viewers a lineup of creative, substantial as well as novel programs. Viewers can enjoy this new experience in television on Channel 10 on Dialog TV and Channel 12 on POTV. A pre-launch introductory ceremony for TV1 took place at the Stein Studios in Rathmalana last Monday with much pomp and glamour. The eventful and glamorous setup included artists, media personalities, heads of advertising agencies and many others.
Welcome back to the news. Still in local news. The new party headquarters of the National Freedom Front was declared open this morning under the auspices of party leader Bimal Weerawansa.
Some claim that we are working to split the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, and to ensure that happens, we are in secret talks with Wickramasinghe. Persons who gave the post of Prime Minister to Wickramasinghe and a two-thirds majority and enjoying the luxuries are alleging that we are carrying out the contracts of Ranil Wickramasinghe. We are not persons who carry out the contracts of Wickramasinghe or Sirisena.
කාටුන් ශිල්පීන්ට තව තවත් ශක්තිය හා ධෛර්යය ලැබේවා කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. බොහොම කෙටියෙන් යන්නේ අලුත් පක්ෂයකට ටිකක් බලන්න හොඳයි මම වෙනවා වගේ කරින් දැන කියනවා. නෑ අලුත් පෙරමුණක් අපි හැදෙන්නේ. ඒක බොහොම කෙටි කාලයක් ඇතුළත ඉදිරියේදී නිර්මාණය වෙයි. ඒකේ මූලික කලලය දැනටමත් අපි සකස් කරගනිමින් සිටිනවා. ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහතාට නායකත්වය ලැබෙනවා කියලා තිබෙනවා මේ. ඒව ගැන කියන තාම කල් වැඩි. සංකල්ප ගැන කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ කියලා තමයි මේ ඉල්ලින් තිබ්බ මහත්යෂි අපේ සංකල්ප වැඩක් නැහැ. උනාට පස්සේ බලමු කියලා ඔබතුමා දන්නවා මොනවා හරි මේකේ තියෙනවනේ ටිකක් කියවුවා. කියන්න පුළුවන් ටික කිව්වා.
Former Secretary of Defence Gotabaya Rajapaksa was summoned to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into large-scale corruption and fraud today.
A statement was recorded from the former Defence Secretary on alleged financial irregularities which were said to have taken place at the Rakna Araksha Lanka Limited. I saw our Prime Minister attending an event in Jaffna to celebrate the Thai Pongal festival. I also saw the President pardoning and releasing a suspect who was arrested for trying to assassinate him. They were able to do all of this because of the peace, freedom and stability which we brought to this country. I saw Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumarthunga had also gone to Jaffna. I don't think she visited Jaffna even once in her lifetime as President. They are also doing all of this because of the stability which we brought to this country. We have been appearing for these investigations for over a year now. It doesn't matter. I have no issues with it. Well, yes, because you need an opposition political party in a democratic country. Today there is no opposition now, is there? As a common opposition, do they represent the common problems of the country? No. So if there is no opposition, then this is an autocratic ruling system. I have no such ideas yet, but if that is what the people demand for, then I will.
Lassil de Silva, the Secretary to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into serious acts of fraud and corruption, appeared on the Newsline program and had this to say about the former Secretary of Defence.
It's a year. Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa quite rightly pointed out the last time he came out of your offices that it's a year and there is not a shred of evidence. He doesn't own any houses, lands or anything other than what he has already declared.
Fair enough, yeah.
And he says therefore that this is a politically driven witch hunt. And I think that you may find that the people are beginning to think on those lines too. So unless you want that thing to be sustained and perpetuated, you're going to have to come up with something more tangible than saying we're investigating.
I know, in fact, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa commented about the commission in that fashion. I would like to ask this question, right? If we had not given a fair chance for him to explain all these things, you know, opened up evidence in their presence, what would have been the situation then?
Well, the following views were also expressed on the Newsline program that aired this morning.
What's happening to Gamini Sandra? Nobody's talking about him. What's happening to the former chief of staff?
Yeah, I would say there are investigations now underway. Probably within the next couple of days, you know, months or whatever, you know.
Has he been as frequent a visitor as his erstwhile boss?
He has not been summoned by us yet.
Oh, really?
But
Yes.
why not? Then is it correct to say that a powerful cabinet minister is protecting him?
No, I
To your
don't know.
knowledge.
I don't know whether there is a powerful cabinet minister is giving whatever protection to him. That doesn't come within our purview.
So is Mr. Senrat, has he been above it? Are you saying that you haven't received any complaints?
There are some investigations underway. Let us wait and see.
The United Nations Development Fund launched the Global Human Development Report 2015 in Colombo today.
The report, titled Work for Human Development, takes a broader view of work, examines the links between work and human development, and explores changes between job security, flexibility and demand for skills and issues of unpaid work, including voluntary care. A significant feature of the 2015 report is the inclusion of a chapter by President Maithripala Sirisena on community partnerships for improving rural livelihoods. It is the first time that a Sri Lankan president has contributed to a UNDP report.
His contribution has elevated the credibility of the report, but in my mind, it has also added to the substance of the report itself. So I'm truly grateful on behalf of UNDP and on behalf of my team for his special contribution.
With a Human Development Index value of 0.757, Sri Lanka is above the average for the developing world and ranks at 73 out of 188 countries for 2014.
In another 15 to 20 years, there will be a big growth in the over 60 category of the Sri Lankan population. As somebody said, Sri Lanka is a country with a first world indices of social development with a third world income. That's the reality. If you look at our life expectancy, it is comparable to Europe. When there will be a gap between strong expectations and the need to expand the economy to fulfill those.
The remains of late Minister of Land M.K.A.D.S. Gunawardena, who passed away recently, were taken to his residence in Kantale today in a motorcade.
Following religious activities, his remains were moved from his residence down Church Road in Kampaha at around 2 this morning. A large number of public representatives and others continue to arrive at the late minister's residence in Kantale to pay their last respects. The final rites of late M.K.A.D.S. Gunawardena, who was a senior member of the SLFP, will be carried out with full state honours on Saturday in Kantale.
It was reported that former Sri Lankan pace bowler Chaminda Vas will be assisting Ireland to prepare for the ICC World T20 tournament in India when he joins the squad as a consultant bowling coach next month.
The vastly experienced Sri Lankan will begin his short-term contract when Ireland take on the UAE in 2 T20 internationals in Abu Dhabi, then stay with the squad during a preparation camp in Chandigarh at the end of February and the tournament itself. Ireland face Bangladesh, Oman and the Netherlands in the round 1 group stages of the ICC World 2020.
Well, with that sports story, it's time for us to wrap up the news for tonight. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm Joel Outscored.
I'm Sonali Vanikabadage. Good night.
Good night.